we got here, we've had quite a steep walk down, so I haven't bothered setting up the camera properly, so the microphone's probably a bit tinny. I cast out the famous firetail, and about the 6th cast, there we go. Nice little pollock, absolutely nailed this firetail. Look at it, it's all chewed up. I'm in on the LRF gear. I've been throwing around a lure on the bigger rod, 6-pound braid, 4-pound fluorocarbon, and I'm into a little mackerel. Hey! There's the jig head, if you can see it, that's the jig head. The lure is here. That's all I caught it on. Great take on a little rod. These Macs absolutely fight like crazy. But I'm not going to eat him. I'm going to put him back because I want to catch more. Awesome. Well, we have just had an epic battle, wasn't it, Em?
Yeah.
Where did you hook him?
Literally just down here off the rocks there. There's a big drop.
Little gap
Thought
there.
I'd throw it down there.
Using a little light rod.
Well, I had a big one, just took my line, had to snap it off. Really, really big bite.
Yeah, we lost the big one, didn't we?
Took it. This one, I could just feel a slight nibble, thought I'd go for it, and
this is.
there we have.
I think it's a PBM.
For my wrasse, yeah, definitely,
we've got this little crab net here. It's great because we didn't want to pull them up on the line. Those of you who've watched our old LRF videos with me and Em, you'll notice I lost my PB wrasse trying to lift it up on the line like this. So I went down there and got a booty with my feet and I scooped it up with this little crab net. They're brilliant. Let's just get them out and have a look because this is a chunk.
That can just hang them up. That's my new handbag.
There we go. Look at that beaut of a wrasse. Just no stopping this girl wrasse fishing. She is addicted.
This is on my
It is 3:30, high tide's at 6. So we've been fishing for about 2 hours and the fishing has been good, to say the least. Another wrasse for her. Well, Emmy's had 2 pretty big wrasse there. I've had my first mackerel on LRF gear, and I've now got another species. That's what I love about LRF, turquoise belly. And they look absolutely deadly, but they are harmless. There's a few little spines on them, but they're nothing too bad. Again, look at that pink nightworm there. Absolutely deadly. That's the 3rd species I've now had on that. And I've noticed, because the tide's coming in, I'm letting it sink a lot more. We're in quite a deep hole here. So with the mackerel I cast in, he actually took it on the drop pretty near the surface. This one I let sink just above the kelp. There's some kelp out there and I was just tweaking it back really slowly. So another one bites the dust. Okay. Em's in again on the light tackle gear. And that, I think that's I don't know what that is, Blenny? Goby? Who knows, you guys tell me. We're just getting these variety species, well, loads now, aren't we, really?
He was a real greedy one though. That's a big worm on there.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's quite a nice size as well. Nice one, Em.
So, yeah.
Can't stop the wrasse master. Em's got a sort of, you've got a pier rod there.
It's actually a mackerel rod.
Is it? Yeah, it's sort of one you'd use on the pier. That's a nice wrasse.
Cool, he's a biggie.
That's a chunky looking wrasse. Nice one, Em.
Yeah.
That is good.
I think that may be the biggest fish of the day so far.
It could be. We've got this tactic where we've got the light rod over there, you can see. I've got a light rod over there. Other people fishing over there too. And this rod, we're chucking out a bit further, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm just sort of trying to keep it out.
Do you want to point
in hope of getting something other than wrasse. Just out there towards that headland.
Sort of out there, yeah, about 30 yards out, I'd say, and then the rest we're catching all down here. Good fun.
Yeah.
Right, let's get him unhooked, get him back. If you find yourself going through a quiet spell, probably a good chance really to try some different lures, even a different setup altogether really. I was fishing mostly with jig heads on this session, and so I'm just going through my lead box there really, changing different weights. I think I went for a heavier weight and a slightly bigger lure that's a small grub there. But you can use things like little jigs and spoons if you're trying to target mackerel, or you can up your lure size to maybe a bit bigger even and try for pollock. Something with a paddle tail tends to do really well with pollock fishing. And some of the lures I have small beads in them that rattle. Again, that's a really good attractor. But what worked well for me today was definitely those small little 2-inch lures. I like to start with the small lures, mainly because I can catch fish on them to begin with, and then if I'm getting loads of fish and I want to target bigger species, I can up them to some bigger ones. Well, there you go. That was just a little video on the sort of LRF fishing that you can get around the Cornwall area. Now, obviously, Emmy wasn't really doing LRF. She was on her pier rod, and she likes to fish with bait, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind. She was catching fish. In fact, she probably caught more fish and bigger fish than I did. That's great for beginners. If you're going to go and take a beginner fishing on the rocks, personally, I would give them bait. I would go on ragworm, small hooks, small light rod. It's just much better. You feel the bite detection. The fish will almost hook themselves. It's much better. If you're a beginner, try bait first, then go on to lures. I try and take minimal kit with me, really. I have a lot of kit overall, but when I go out, I try and take minimal kit. So this looks like a lot of kit here that I've got laid out, but I'm going to show it to you in a bit, and I'll show you the actual stuff that I do take with me, because I don't take all of this. I do take 2 reels. You can get reels with different spools. At the moment I take 2 reels. I've got a 1000 size reel there. That's got the ultra light stuff on it. That's got the 6-pound braid, the 4-pound fluorocarbon, so stupidly light stuff. That's what I was using in the video that you just saw. I also have a bigger setup with, and this is a 2500 size reel. This is 20, I think, or 25-pound braid, and I use 15-pound fluorocarbon. The reason being is that if I do want to go for those bigger fish, I want to be able to have the gear to land them. There's no point taking silly light tackle, then hooking the fish of a lifetime, and then you lose it. So I do like to take that range. The rod I will keep the same. Rods can take an absolute battering. You can catch big fish on super light rods. This rod's had fish over 4 pounds. I know it can handle the wrasse, so I won't take 2 rods with me, just the 1 rod. Well, before I go into the details of kind of lures and things like that, really important is safety. There's something that's absolutely paramount when you're rock fishing, especially if you're out on your own. It's not something to be taken lightly. So I do take a small first aid kit which has your standard bandages in, dressings, things like that. I also put in a couple of painkillers and just little things like that that you might need. You never know when you're going to use it. If you've done a 2-mile walk to this rock fishing spot, you know, you need something in case you do get injured. You might slip on the rocks, you might knock, graze yourself. Always important to have a little first aid kit. The other thing I carry is a little head torch, just in case, again,
you might fall over, hurt your leg or something like that. You can do SOS signals with it, and you can flag down any walkers and things like that. Or if it gets dark and you got caught in the dark, you can actually find your way home. So, sounds silly, you're going fishing a day, but you've got to think to yourself, what happens if something goes wrong? You've got to be prepared. So that's another safety thing as well. And another one I've got here, this is just a paracord bracelet that kind of snaps, it clips onto your wrist. It's got 2 clips, but on one end of the clip here, it's actually got a whistle. Again, I can just clip that onto my wrist. I won't do it now, but I can clip it onto my wrist like that. That stays with me. If you fall in the water or something like that, I've got a whistle attached to my wrist. Again, sounds stupid guys, but it's really, really important. Right, we'll go on to some tackle now and have a little look at what we've got there. Now, probably like all lure fishermen out there, I actually have far too many lures for my own good. It's really not healthy, guys. So this is my box of lures at the moment, my soft plastic lures. Just absolutely, probably, do you know what? I've got so many, if you look at each colour, I would say I only use 4 lures out of all of these, really. Probably 4 lures. It's quite sad. I've got all these lures and I only use 4. Now, obviously, I don't take all 4 of these, or 3 of these boxes with me. There's no point. My backpack's going to be absolutely killing me. Don't take all your lures. You're never going to use them all. So, what I do is I get one little box like this. And what you can do is you can scan your lure box and go, right, I'm going to take that one today. Might have a go with that. I'll have another go with that lure. Then I'll come over here. I might go for a really bright one just in case. So I'll stick that one in there. I might go for a bigger sized one just in case I'm going for bigger fish. I'll stick that there. And maybe a more fish looking like one there. And then I can come over to my leads over here, which I've also got a silly array of, really. I'm a bit OCD. I like to put the size and stickers in the background and stuff like that. Now I might say, okay, I'll grab a couple of jig heads like that, put the jig heads in there, and I might put a drop shot lead in there as well. I might fancy some drop shot fishing. Got my drop shot lead, I'll stick that in there as well. Then I'll come over to my hooks. I'll go, right, I've already got jig head hooks in there. I might get a big jig head hook there, a couple of those, stick those in there, and then maybe 1 or 2 drop shot hooks, something like that. And then snap it closed. Suddenly, I've got all the gear I want for the day in one small box. Now, I know in the video earlier, I had quite a few boxes with me. But guess what, guys? I learnt my lesson. I had a stiff back. I've now got a smaller tackle box, much easier. Okay, another tip, guys, and this is probably a really, really good one for beginners. If you want to go out there and you're starting out rock fishing, you want to be able to catch fish. Don't go out there with a monster lure and start chucking it around. Chances are you're looking for that big fish. It might not happen. Start with the smaller fish first. Get used to catching the smaller fish. Get used to the takes, used to the movement of the lures, the gear you're using. Start small. So look what I've got here. This was the lure I was using actually in that video quite a lot. Dead tiny lure, it's only 2 inches. Caught plenty of small fish on it. Really good. You can up your size and go for ones that are more, that look like fish. So this one looks like a small minnow. Again, really soft, really good action, nice and small. I'll still probably be able to catch big fish on it. Then I've got a couple of bigger lures there. That's more like a ragworm type lure. Another bigger lure there. And also take one that's kind of got a shad paddle tail to it as well. Have a good variety of lures that you take with you, but start small. Get used to catching the smaller fish. You know, and you can catch with LRF, you can catch hundreds of different species. So get used to starting with the smaller lures and then work your way up. I've got a couple more things to tell you and then we'll finish off the video. Okay, so another thing, obviously take a pair of scissors with you for cutting the line. You can also use nail clippers, they work quite well. Pair of scissors, pair of forceps, just in case you don't feel confident or there's a deep hooked fish, always good to take a pair of forceps. I like to take a small set of scales with me just in case I do catch a big fish. Other important things, you've got a peaked cap. You want to, especially where we were fishing, you want to keep that glare out, that sunlight. So peaked cap and some polarizing glasses. Okay, that shuts the glare down. You don't see the clouds reflecting off the water. Really good. I like to use a chest cam as well. The reason being is sometimes with the head cams, when it's on your head, your heat comes off your head and it fogs up the lens. So I like to use a chest cam a lot when I'm out. Finally, this I used as a drop net. It is a kid's crab net that I got for £2 from the shop. A little kid's beach shop. £2. It's got 30 feet of rope here. I'm not going to be fishing 30 feet, but it's dead handy to just drop down, sink in the water, lower it just under the surface, pull your fish on top and pull up. Now obviously if you catch a 20-pound fish, it's not going in there. But for those who are looking to do LRF, definitely worth doing. So giving you some tips there, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Myself and Emmy certainly had fun. We usually go there every year down to Cornwall. LRF's great fun, guys. Get out there, give it a go.